Can we just talk about how juicy this is real quick? That's extreme juiciness. This is my GEEK AIRE. This is the thing I use to help coals along when I'm barbecuing. This kind of inserts a lot of air and oxygen, helps a fire kind of get going. It's also very helpful in drying out poultry skin. So say you forgot to leave it in the refrigerator uncovered overnight, or your refrigerator stinks for some reason. So you can ultimately dry out the skin of poultry by just laying a fan somewhere, which is why this is amazing, because it's handheld and it's battery powered. So you can just kind of stand the thing up and let it sit for like 30 minutes or an hour while it's coming to room temperature, and that skin dries out really nice. If you're interested in this guy, I'll leave a link down below. But today we have another chicken, and we've taught you how to break the chicken down. I showed you how to do something with the dark meat and the thighs. We've done lots of recipes for the wings and the drumsticks, buffalo wings and all that kind of stuff. Today we're just gonna learn how to take the breast that we butchered and cook it perfectly as we can on the stovetop, transition into the oven, very similar to how we did with the chicken thigh, but we're just gonna cook it not as long and to a specific temperature and doneness. Make sure we get a nice juiciness going on in that chicken breast. It's very simple, but when you're utilizing a whole bird, or even if you've just got some chicken breasts going on in your refrigerator and you don't know what to do with them, knowing how to cook them in a way where you can get some crispy skin and the meat is nice and tender and juicy, you're gonna be able to turn just a simple chicken breast into just like a restaurant quality meal. I've also got my brodo, nice and gelatinous. I'm going through my brodo, and as I'm going through my brodo and using them in my chicken dishes for the sauces that will just reduce down to like a nice glaze, I'm also reserving the carcasses and the wings and stuff like that from, this is now my second chicken that I'll have in the freezer. So now I'm building up more ingredients to make more brodo. We'll get to that soon. But one step at a time, today we're taking care of the chicken breast. And again, you can get really good quality broth and bone brodo. It's a tricky, confusing thing, and again, we'll get to it. In the store, in the frozen section, they have good, thick, gelatinous broth that will do the same thing for now until we get to that lesson. So otherwise, let's just jump into it. I just need to kind of butcher this guy. I think I'm actually gonna stave the legs and the wings along with the carcass and the necks and the giblets for stock. So today I'm just gonna take the breasts off and use them. That's a decision that's always up to you. You can always take the wings off, take the thighs off, make a meal with that, but I wanna start to build for my broth. So I'm just gonna break this down really quick. Double wrapped. I got all my stuff for brodo, so now I have 2 carcasses and then some thighs, some necks, some backbone, all that kind of stuff. That should be enough. Maybe I'll wait for another one, or maybe I'll just make it with this. We'll see, but it's probably gonna be for the show. Into the freezer. So here we got 2 nice, beautiful chicken breasts. They're actually pretty even. You can always take the tenderloin out and it'll help sort of make it more of an even piece of chicken. But the idea is we're going to get our pan really, really hot over like medium high heat and just heat it up really well. Give it a few minutes on the flame and just let that heat do the work. We're gonna season these really well. We didn't dry brine them. You can always dry brine them and get some salt in there, but since we didn't, we're gonna season them extra well. We're gonna throw them into the pan, skin side down, and then once we start to see that pan's hot and the chicken is starting to brown, we're just gonna pop it into a 450 degree oven and cook the breast until it reaches around 155 degrees to 160 degrees. In that range, you wanna get it out of the oven, off the pan, and resting. Then we can finish the pan sauce, which is essentially just our brodo that we're gonna reduce. I'm just gonna get that into a pan right now. I probably need about half of this. What's about half? If I need more, I can always add more. And I'm just gonna get this onto the stove and let it start reducing. Bring it up to a boil and let it just go. Once the chicken's out of the pan, resting, we're gonna discard any of the oil or fat from the pan, get it back on the stove, add the reduced broth, continue reducing it in the pan until it's the right glaze consistency, and then just finish it with a few cold pats of butter. That's gonna bring the sauce together. It's gonna make it beautiful, glossy, shiny, and then we're gonna slice the chicken breasts. They're gonna be perfect. This is so easy to do, and the result is better than you would imagine, that you're gonna have a different perspective on chicken breasts after you try this. So let's just get right into it. Nice and crispy. So what I want to do is slice one up, plate the sauce over. That sauce, you know, I added some thyme to it. I added a little bit of lemon. Those are all options, right? But at the very minimum, if you just reduce the broth and then finish it with butter once it's sort of a glazy consistency, that's all you need, and that's a base. And you can build flavors on top. Garlic, thyme, lemon, rosemary, whatever you want, whatever you have, you can start to play around. So let's just plate this guy up. I'm gonna cut it on an angle like that. That's gonna help get it a little more tender. Can we just talk about how juicy this is real quick? That's extreme juiciness. This is just crispy. This is perfect. I'm so happy. Like, nothing boring about this. The sauce is just incredible. Thanks to what we had in the freezer. You get nice aroma from the thyme, a little acidity from that lemon. This is the advantage of breaking the bird down and then cooking the pieces how each piece needs to be cooked. Yeah, it's fun and entertaining to roast a whole bird, but you can create perfection when you break it down. It's tender. Some chicken can be tough. This isn't. The fat in the skin is rendered. That's an A+ dinner right there. Pair it with a kale salad, some roasted vegetables, whatever, and you have the basis for a meal. I hope you kind of can look at the vegetables in some of my meatless meals. I have a whole playlist for them. And you can pick and choose the sides, a starch, a vegetable, a protein, and you can start to kind of build on the techniques that we've learned how to make meals on a weekly basis. This is a key element to know, and now you know how to do it. And it's important to not cook this by time. Both chicken breasts kind of cooked a little differently. They might be butchered differently. They might be different sizes. That's why it's always better to cook to temperature rather than using time as a guide. If you can make a chicken breast taste amazing and serve it with an amazing sauce, you really just never need to go out again. The flavor of the sauce lingers in your mouth and it's so enjoyable and pleasant, and it makes you just want more and more. Such a good dish. Thank you all for watching. Thanks to all my patrons scrolling up on the screen. Soon we'll get into the brodo. I know you guys want that. I'm going to show it to you, don't worry. I'm just building up to it. That's all that I have today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself and go feed yourself.